What is up, guys? Welcome back. Fluxeter here, and today I got you another guide on Arma Reforger, this time about building and logistics. Alright guys, so as soon as you finally break through the veil of the insufferable queue times, you'll be greeted with a map once you load in. So go ahead and look around and find your main operating base. And after you've done that, go ahead and look around the area, and you'll notice smaller little bases that are in blue, and those will be your forward operating bases. You'll be looking for one of those that are kind of empty. If you see those little symbols down there, that'll kind of tell you what's there. And once you find one, ours will be Wisconsin, go ahead and spawn in on the main base. Once you've loaded in at your main base, go ahead and look around, and you're going to be wanting to look for a heavy vehicle depot. Mine, I think, is down this way. Yeah, right here. So once you go to the heavy vehicle depot, you're going to want to open the context menu. You're going to want to look down at the bottom little menu here, and you'll see the first two trucks there. Those are your transport trucks that you want to look at. Those are what will allow you to actually haul your materials. After you have your vehicle spawned in, when you can line it up, go ahead and get into your vehicle here. And you're going to want to go ahead and start loading up from this base's supplies. People might tell you that you don't want to take from your main base's supplies and divvy it out, but honestly, when you look at the chart of what we started out with and what we end with whenever we wind up in Wisconsin, you really don't notice the materials being missing. Once you finally have all your supplies loaded in the back of your truck and tightly secured, you're ready to plot your course to the next objective. And you'll want to do that before you head out, just so it makes it easier and you don't have to keep stopping and potentially get ambushed by enemies. Like this clip here.
Help me! Help me!
Now that you've plotted out your course, you're ready to go ahead and head to the forward operating base that you chose before, in our case, Wisconsin. Once you've arrived, you're now ready to go ahead and deposit your materials into the same place that you took them from before. So, in this case, it'll be right beside the command tent, and you'll just back right up to it and go ahead and offload your supplies. Alright guys, now it's time for the building part of this. So whenever you get done unloading your supplies, the first thing you'll want to do is you'll want to go ahead and head into the command tent, and in the back of the command tent there will be this little board. You'll go ahead and hold the context menu option, load it up, and the first thing you want to build will be a radio tower. That'll actually allow this outpost to produce its own supplies over time. And the more you connect it over to other antennas or other bases, the more it increases. So if it's connected to 1, it'll get +5. If it's connected to 2, +10, 3, +15, so on and so forth. Now I don't know if that stacks like to really high numbers, but anyway, the next thing you're going to want to build is a small fuel supply, so that way you can go ahead and fuel the vehicle that you spawned earlier up with, because you'll notice on our way here that we almost ran out of gas. We're about at half a tank, so we'll want to go ahead and fill up since we saw that our supply point's kind of far away from where we are. So then what you're going to want to do next is you want to go ahead and exit the builder after you've placed your blueprints, and now it's time to pull out your shovel, and then you'll be able to see the blueprints you've actually placed, and you can go ahead and start building what you've put out for blueprints. Alright guys, so once you're done with that, you'll notice that you're out of supplies, and you won't really be able to build anything else, but that's okay because you still have some supplies left over. Go ahead and empty what you have left, and then you can build a couple other things. My recommendation is the heavy vehicle depot. That way, in case you get destroyed on your way of delivering supplies, you can easily spawn another heavy vehicle where you just come from. And then after, a light vehicle depot respectively. So after that, you'll probably notice that you're out of supplies, so now it's time to go ahead and get in your vehicle and refuel it. Now that you've got that done and you're sitting inside of your truck, now it's time to look around on the map and try to find you some supplies. They'll be indicated by small green barrels or green logs or whatever, and you'll know that that's a supply point. After that, it's time to plot your course again. And what I like to do is I kind of like to trace out where I'm going and then point key features out, like landmarks such as rivers or houses, or if you're by the shore, even the ocean. Now it's time to make your way to the supply point. And remember, on the way, be looking out for your landmarks, like this little creek that I chose here. So, about halfway, I went ahead and chose another landmark, which will be this footpath. Alright guys, so the first thing you want to do when you get to the base is once you're kind of outside of it, you want to park your vehicle safely to the side where you can't get RPG'd by the NPCs and go ahead and clear out the base. Alright guys, after you clear out the base and you're pretty sure that there's no enemies around, now it's time to get back into your truck and go ahead and pull up to one of the resource deposits, which will look like this tent here. After you've carefully taken your supplies, now it's time to head back to the base that you were working on to begin with. Alright guys, after you finally delivered your supplies and got them unloaded, now is the time period where you kind of get to let your creative freedom go crazy. Now you get to decide whether you want to spawn a medical tent or you want to go ahead and fortify this base for a potential attack. You can put out machine gun nests and things like that, but that requires a rank. I think you have to be sergeant to put out machine gun nests. Don't quote me on that, but I do know it requires a rank. Certain things do, like spawning helicopters and things like that, but that's for another video. Alright guys, and with that brings us to the end of the video. If you guys liked the video, or you found it informative, or you just want more future guides, go ahead and like and subscribe, and watch out for future guides and more content. Fluxeter out.
What can I say? I'm drinking again. Fucking around and I'm texting a friend. I got some people to handle loose ends. I got an Addy and I just hit send. Give me some drinks and I'm at it again. I'm fucking your bitch in the back of the Benz. Fucking your bitch like all of her